are doing a very basic Illustrator tutorial, Introduction to Illustrator and the pen tool. So the first thing you'll need to do is open up Illustrator. If you don't already have the template that I made for the Illustrator tutorial downloaded to your desktop, you'll want to pause the video right now and go ahead and find that in your email that I sent before class and download it to your desktop because we're going to be using that momentarily. So go ahead and pause if you need it. Okay, Illustrator is open up and ready to go for me. So this is video 1, which means I'm going to show you how to set up your document for this assignment. You'll want to go to File, New. New document. I'm going to title it 0 Illustrator Tutorial. I want it to have one artboard, custom size, width 8 inches, height 9 inches. And you know what? I'm not going to worry about bleed today. I'm going to hit 0 there. And because this link is pressed down here, the rest of these will turn to 0. Okay. And your blank canvas should pop up. Mine popped up at 154%. I'd like to start by viewing it at 100%. So I'm going to go up here to View. And I want to see the actual size. I want to also see my rulers at all times, so I'm going to pull up Show Rulers. And lastly, I have some palettes open here that maybe I won't need, so I'm going to go ahead and click Window, Workspace, and Essentials. And that pulled up the very basic things for me. So if you do that, your screen will be showing you the same thing so that we're all working from the same place. So the very first thing I want you to do now that you have your Illustrator Essentials ready to go is File, Place, and you're going to place that PNG file that I sent you before class that you have saved to your desktop. Okay, as you can see, it was placed in the center here, but the problem is that it's too big for my canvas. I know that the template is 9 by 8 inches, which is what I was told to set my document up as, so I'm going to make sure that it's selected by clicking on it. I'm going to go up here to Width by Height, and I can see that it's 12 inches by 13.5 inches, and I want it to be 8 inches, so I'm typing in 8. And there, now we have it the right size, but it's not quite aligned to the edge of my canvas. So I'm going to click on it, hold down, and drag it into place until I can feel it kind of snap right into that corner. And then I can go and double check and see that, look, the center of my image, denoted by this black dot right here, is at 4 inches on the x-axis and 4.5 inches on the y-axis, which means it's in the center of my 8 by 9 inch document. Okay, the next step is we want this to be our background layer and we want it to be locked so that we don't have to mess with it and we don't have to worry about selecting it by accident. So I'm going to go down here, and when I hover over these icons I can see what they are. I need to create a new layer. There are my layers. I'm clicking on that. I'm going to drag this into where you can view it. See it on my screen here. I'm going to lock this layer by clicking that box right there, and I'm going to add a new layer. This is going to be my working layer. The next thing I want to do is set up my 4 boxes so that I'm ready to go for the further tutorials. I've selected the square tool right here. If you have a circle showing up, you just want to click and hold down until you can see which shape you want to choose from. I picked the rectangle. I'm double checking on my swatches down here on the left. The fill right now is white instead of clear. I would like it to be clear. So I'm going to hover over this. I see that that means none. So my boxes are going to be clear with a black stroke. I notice my stroke is a little thicker than I want it to be. I'd like it to be 0.25 inches. Sorry, 0.25 points. I type that in, click enter. My stroke weight is now 0.25 points. I'm going to hover over here as close as I can to that corner. Now that I have my box tool selected, I'm clicking and dragging, and you can see it. I can change the proportions of my rectangle, but I know that I want it to be a square, so I'm going to hold down my shift key at the same time, and that locks it into a square proportion at all times. And I'm dragging it out to here. Look at that, 3.5 inches. That's a nice round number. That's probably what the template was designed for. And since I made the template, I know that's what it was designed for. And then I'm going to let go. I want to go ahead and do my next box, and when I hold my crosshairs up here, I see that a green line appears. That's showing me that it's aligned with the box to the left, which is perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and hold down my shift key, click, and drag. And there at 3.5 inches, it's telling me that it's aligned with the box next to it. Great. Again, I'm going to do the same thing here. Hover my crosshairs over, click down my shift key, click and drag. Boom, 3.5 inches. And one more time, you can see this one is aligned with the box to the top and the one to the left. Hold down my shift key, click on my mouse, drag it to 3.5 inches, it pops into place. Great, I have my 4 boxes made. Now the last thing I want to do is add my name down here. I selected my text tool right here. I'm going to click and drag to create a text box. And I'm going to go ahead and type my full name, Sarah Zero, Visual Communication 1, September 20th, 2013. I'm going to select my text, and I want it to be Georgia like the template. So I typed in Georgia. I happen to know that it's size 10. Let's see, it's showing up not quite right. I want to get my text right in place. That looks close enough to me. Now, you can always zoom in and zoom out to make sure that you're perfectly accurate. You can do that by doing Command plus, Command minus. I'm a little bit off, but for the purposes of this, well, you know what? For the purpose of this, let's do it perfectly right. I'm going to click and drag to select these 2 boxes that look like they're off the template just a little bit. And I'm going to use my right arrow key just to go 1 over, 2 over. That looks a little bit better. And I'm going to do the same over here. Select them, arrow key over to the right, and I think we're right on the money now. I'm going to go back up to View, View Actual Size, and my page is ready to go. I'm ready for the next tutorial that's going to start with box 1 to show me how to use the pen tool to trace basic shapes.